All right, kids. So you've found us. This is Zuby and Rosalinda. Um,
Bum,
we're a
bum,
little bit messy
bum.
here, but this is going to be our pilot episode of an idea that I have been cooking up for a long time, where I want to host a podcast called The Teresa Show. Rosalinda was very interested in being a co-star slash guest star or just a star in general. And we've been wanting to put this out for a while. And so we're just going to launch a pilot and see how it goes and learn as we grow and go as we grow as we go and all that good stuff. So, anyway, I am Teresa Zube, aka
And all
Zuby. And
that
if you're on my
jazz.
channel, you probably know who the fuck I am. So I'm going to let Rosalinda introduce herself quickly, and I could probably link to your page underneath also, Rosalinda. And I have some topics of interest that I was chewing on today.
Okie dokie.
I'm
What's
like, do
your
you want to
topics of
introduce yourself?
interest? I'm curious.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Rosalinda Alexander from Visalia, California, in the middle of California. And I have a nonprofit called Green Rose Productions. And in my journey of spirituality, I found Teresa Zube, and we clicked, and I've been chatting with her for over 5 years now, since COVID
Yeah,
times. And she's guided
5 or
me through
6.
a lot with her, yeah, it's crazy, knowledge of astrology. She's a mathematician wizard. And then in my toughest points of life, also somebody who has guided me with the tarot, which has been helpful guidance and feedback and confirmation. So I'm excited to join in on the podcast. I hope people listen with open hearts and open minds. Huzzah!
Huzzah. Lovely intro. So, the topic I was ruminating upon was the decentralization of spirituality, where this is sort of the non-guru form of spirituality. And that I feel like that has been it, we see it around us where a guru will get to a certain point and then a lot of times they fall. And I think that the old system where we had, spiritual leaders who had masses of people going to them, there was a time and a place for that. And that's just kind of what I want to hash out. And something that just dawned on me as I was saying that is I think the era of that is expiring because we don't necessarily need it anymore. Like it used to be where if you had a job, you wouldn't want to put online, and maybe some people are still like this, but you wouldn't want to put online like, hey, woo woo, like let me like throw my woo 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 all around because it could impact your job or your being hired or whatever. So there needed to be people needed to be really brave to kind of put themselves out there. And I suppose now we've got to be sort of brave. But it just gets easier and easier as spirituality spreads. Um, that was the thought that I had. Like even me and putting out my tarot and astrology videos, I sometimes think like, if they like search for me, if I apply for a job, I'm gonna have all this interesting stuff out there. So it's definitely something that crosses my mind. But but the decentralization of spirituality is what I had to chew on. How did you get into your spirituality?
Yeah, I think, how did I get into my spirituality? Yeah, that's a loaded question because it was a lot of things and a lot of things that would get me in trouble.
Okay. Well, fair. But you were starting to come up with
um,
a response.
well, the decentralization of the guruship, for sure. I think we all are. I mean, I think we continue to go back to every time we chat about our mutual friend Tobias Lars. And he
Mhm.
always says the age of the guru is over and we have to go inside. The only way out is through, is within. And so we have to all do that. And we have to look at ourselves. And I like the gurus though, because they kind of show us the way, the path. You don't know what you don't know. So you have to have examples. So I don't think it's gone, the people that are more advanced spiritually, but I think the best ones are the ones that tell you you got to look inside of yourself. Don't don't
Yes.
look to me. Look to yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's hard to watch the gurus now fall, and we all know that they're human. And so yeah, specifically in the last 5 years there's this like rise of spirituality, I think. And then there's these famous people that have come out of that, and then as they have had the limelight shined on them, we can all see their dark demons. But
Yeah.
and I'm trying to learn this even right now, and right now this morning, like when I start to turn out to others and like start wagging my finger, it means I've got three fingers wagging back at me of stuff that I haven't done. Is my room clean? Is my laundry done? Like it starts as simple as that.
So that's perfect. And the guru, there'll still be books. There'll still be people that we look up to, or somebody who said something perfectly, or, that someone else learned from. But it's almost like spirituality is being practiced in the aisle of the grocery store, as opposed to, sitting in um, a pyramid somewhere. I don't know. Do people sit in pyramids? It's just a more every everyday like conversation, because that's what spirituality is like, especially with the internet, where we can in real time be talking about things like, that's kind of my thoughts on it, is that as opposed to you go to an hour conference where you're doing meditation or listening to a Buddhist monk, or going to an astrologer for your 1 hour visit or whatever, which you can still please do. But it's becoming an everyday occurrence that is happening more in a decentralized way.
Yes, YouTube videos. YouTube has helped immensely.
Totally. Totally. And I guess what I have been noticing on YouTube, like, is it really fair, for people who have a huge spotlight shown on them? Um, because the odds of falling are, because nobody is perfect. We're all human. And so I think what
Right.
ultimately happens is that as people get too high, there something gets lost in the translation, and there might be envy of their wealth or their fame or whatever. But like, we keep it, that's looking outside of ourselves, to someone else, like to deliver spirituality to us. And so I think with that model, it becomes by default more performative. And how could it not be? Because, you're trying to attract people to your platform, and then the wind kind of picks you up a little bit. And then I think it's human nature to kind of want to stay there. And then God's like, boop, somebody else's turn. But like where you once were, 10 other people sprout up. That's kind of the thing that I have going in my head. But yes, I'm with you because there was definitely an inspiration for this. And I specifically don't even want to mention because of what you were just saying. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and where is let's go within. What is it about me?
Right, right. So deep for a Sunday morning.
Sinking into the deep end Sunday morning.
Sunday
I
morning sinks.
Well, and I think of it too. This is a little bit of shadow because when we're watching people on YouTube and I'm thinking like, oh, I don't like the way that person does it. And it's like, well, then you fucking do it. Like, instead of pointing out like a flaw in somebody else, then do
Right,
it. And I think
right.
that's also where we were coming from here.
Yeah, if I could, yeah. If you don't like it, then you do it. I've said that many times in my life when people critique.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to find a shadow aspect, a hidden part of yourself. So, how do you lead
So
yourself
much fun looking at
spiritually?
people and
I cut you
how
off.
do I lead myself? I definitely say prayers in the morning. Um,
Mm,
Try to start my day with prayer. The prayer of protection, Ephesians 6:10, the full armor of God, Psalm 91, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I really try to armor myself up and then anoint myself with oil and do my best to anoint my mouth because the sharpest weapon is our
mm.
tongues. So, oh my God, that's a struggle for me. I'm a oversharer and an artist who feels deeply and passionately, and uh, I'm a Leo, so I want to tell everybody and burn everything up that I don't think is right. So I try to mind my fire because, like I said, when I get frustrated with others, I like look back at my own to do list and I'm like, all right, Rosalinda, you need to go look at yourself in the mirror and go do the things that you need to do. Instead of trying to save the whole world, save myself,
Right?
which is hard, which is, well, I think everybody likes to fight so much because it takes your inner pain outwards, which is great for people who do jujitsu. I think that's been a helpful thing for me spiritually, grounding myself. That was the original question. Like, yeah, making sure I can physically be tough because it translates to being spiritually tough.
Agreed
If I
on
can
that.
handle a girl's stinky breath in my face, then I can handle a demon.
And you're probably going to encounter a lot more girls with stinky breath than demons.
I don't know. I live in California. I think we have like a portal for them here, so there's quite a few actually,
Oh, right,
just
right, right,
walking
right.
around,
Just going around.
just everywhere, just like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I think everywhere is like a zombie apocalypse. But I was thinking, you mentioned zombie apocalypse, which reminded me of my dream. And that's kind of what I see this as a function of also. Did I ever tell you about my zombie dream?
Mm-mm.
So it was like during 2020, and I had this really vivid dream. I never remember my dreams. So when I do, they're really symbolic. I've tried to remember my dreams for years. I've tried a dream journal and waking myself up in the middle of the night and like I'm just not a dream rememberer, but the ones that are important stick out. And so I had a dream. There was an apocalypse. It was nighttime, and there were like fires started all over the place, and all you could see were shadows, like cast by the fires, and people were shouting to do this and that, and then other people were shouting, no, 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 we got to do this and that. And then in the mix of that was a bunch of zombies, and nobody could hardly tell who was who at all. Zombies, and then everybody's trying to do different things. And I was just standing there, and I'm like, wow. And so I turned around and I walked away, and I thought like into a forest. Like there was this big, dark forest outside of all of the chaos. And I kind of thought I was giving up, like I should be going to into whatever was going on. And then I realized that there were other people that had turned around and walked away. And then I saw people who were in the fray, like, oh, hey, but you had to be quiet when you walked away. You couldn't, you know what I mean? And then other people started quietly following. And so for me, that symbolically just started this thing of, I'm just going to mind my own business and, go my own way. And I feel like people who are, because nothing is accomplished in that zombie apocalypse fire shouting thing. And I don't remember now why I was talking about that. What was that in response to?
The zombie apocalypse of California.
Oh, right, right, right. Well, and like this, like maybe three people watch it, but that's okay. I think we're sort of narrowing down into our small tribes.
Yeah, it seems. I don't know. There seems to be another choice point coming in the collective. I don't
Hmm.
know. Something big is coming. It feels like COVID or
Hmm.
alien invasion, which I
Maybe an
think is
alien
next.
invasion. Would they be the good aliens or the
No,
not
I
good
think they're gonna
aliens?
pretend that they're the bad aliens.
Hmm. No, it does feel like something's coming.
I
Everybody I
mean, we're
know.
just about to get successful financially.
Hmm.
I think as a country, we're like turning the ship towards prosperity money wise. Regardless of all the other stuff culturally, I think money wise, we're going to start doing better as a country.
Hmm.
And there's got to be a stop to that. Because if we become successful financially, there's no stopping us.
Hmm.
That is my veiled political rant. Also, you're glitching just a smidge.
Am I?
I think we're delayed with each other a little bit.
I think so too.
Maybe
Well,
if I pause my camera, if I pause my camera, or do we pause our cameras?
oh,
Maybe that'll make it
actually,
go a little
I forgot
faster.
you can do that. That's how. Oh, look at that. That actually makes it better for me because looking at your frozen image was really distracting.
Okay, let's do that then.
As beautiful of a countenance as it is. But
Back at you.
um so going back to the decentralized spirituality. I'm trying to think, did you ever like, and we don't have to name names, but can you think of a time when you were like surprised by the humanity of a guru or somebody that you considered a leader, or and what that experience was like for you on your journey?
Mm, I mean, You mean when I see a guru as a human? Like, what are instances where I've woken up to
Yeah, or
that, or what do you mean?
did you ever have an experience where you had someone even that you considered like a teacher, like closer, and then the a moment where it's sort of jarring. Like I'll tell mine. Mine was I had somebody I considered like a spiritual teacher, and then one time I did a card reading for them, and it was totally out of the blue, and I was completely glad that that they called me and only gave me a few minutes to prepare because I would have been shitting my pants if it was like scheduled for weeks. You know what I mean? And then when I
Mm,
did the reading, it was like just real life people shit, like regular old shit that was going on in their life.
right.
And I remember being like it wasn't like a negative experience, but it was just there was a big shift in me when that happened where I was like, oh wow, you mean we're just still going to argue with people and stuff? Like life is just regular, but you know more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Did you ever have a
Yeah,
moment like that?
the Uh, yes, but something that comes to mind. This is non-spiritual, but I sang in a band, a house band, at a restaurant for a really long time. And there's some famous people around the Central Valley parts, and we had a famous talk show guy come to the restaurant and come watch the band, and I was super nervous for some reason. Oh, yeah, he he also came with a big political figure, but anyways, I was nervous about this guy coming, and um, I was singing, and my guitar player would the man that owned the restaurant, he told me to go over and sing to the famous DJ. And so I went over there and my knees were shaking. I was like super nervous. And I went over to sing to him and I leaned over to sing next to his face with the microphone. And at the same time, I don't know what he did, but he moved his hand and the microphone hit my teeth really
Oh,
hard. And I was like blind, white pain, and then just rage. And then
oh.
all of my like wanting to be impressive to this person, all of that dissipated. I was like, well, he is just human too, because that really hurt, and my like whole fantasy or whatever dissipated.
Oh my gosh,
And
no,
then
and
from then on,
it's super similar. That's
I
exactly
was
what
no
I'm
longer
talking
nervous
about.
after that.
Exactly. Where you're just kind of and that's growth. Like just experiencing that, oh, they're just human.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just all humans.
But I think with spirituality, you're an amazing singer. By the way, you guys, Rosalinda is an incredible singer. With spirituality,
Thanks.
I think because it's intuition based, where we do have to go within, and that's something that the programming and our culture just don't encourage. People are more, it's just easier to fall into finding someone who knows more than you do. And then there's a word that I'm looking for, but like you kind of rely on them for your spirituality rather than trusting your own intuition and your own compass and fostering your own connection to what I call God. But when I say God, I mean like spirit, source, whatever. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But it's that trusting yourself, and that's why it's a lot easier to sit in smaller circles and encourage each other to tap into ourselves. I think Tobias is really good about that, about encouraging people. He just feels more grassroots.
Yeah, every time I think of him sitting on a bench in the grass
in the grass in his backyard with his
in his
dog.
backyard, talking to the world.
Hmm. But
Yeah, you guys should check him out. If you're on your beginning of your spiritual journey, Tobias Lars.
yes, Tobias Lars is awesome.
There's even a song about him.
So what's that?
There's even a song about him
There's a song about Tobias Lars.
by Mean Mo, the rapper.
Oh my gosh, that's who that is. Yep, I've seen them interact with one another on Facebook.
I like the song. He also has a song called The Lightworkers that helps me when I need to get pumped up.
I'm gonna have to find it.
It's a good
I'm gonna have
song.
to find it.
It needs a music video.
Okay. Well, so this is our first venture, and there's sort of my idea where I'm interested in bringing discussions about spiritual practices, any questions that the audience might have, or topics that you want us to explore. You can find my email, or find me on any of the social medias and ask the question. We'd be happy to delve into specific topics, but I just want things to feel available and personal and messy and real, because that's what spirituality is to me, and faith.
Faith,
Faith.
hope, love.
Oh my gosh. That's right. Is that what is on the pictures that they make fun of? Faith, hope, love. Yeah,
Hmm.
right? Yeah.
You can get that
That's
at your
funny.
local Home Goods or TJ Maxx.
Okay, I'm back. Um, so there we go. We got it out there. I think this is going to start
I like
the
it.
ball rolling. And thank you everybody who did listen,
I like it.
because we don't have the recording with it. But have a beautiful day. I'm going to stop recording, and then I can